what's up, guys? Welcome back to Vibe Nation. Today we're here to watch another video. Today we're here to watch it's kind of a lengthy one. It is called SCP-096, the Shy Guy. Now, I am kind of familiar with SCPs, but I've never really dug into the whole SCP universe or lore or whatever. But Zykor, he went ahead and he introduced this video to me, so I'm assuming that he's a little bit more, so he's probably going to be our teacher for today about this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Classes in session.
And today I am living up to my title of the lick.
Don't worry, guys, he doesn't have COVID. It's fine. Yeah.
Good old organic homegrown tobacco. I'm gonna call it tobacco.
Good. We need to keep this family friendly. Anyway, I mean
I'm always family friendly.
For the kiddies, you know. For the kiddies.
What looks like DHD?
No, not really. But you're the hero that everybody needed, but we can never really produce because, you know, Susan Wojcicki doesn't know that people need to actually express themselves. But hey, that's what happens when Google buys YouTube. You become the worst version of yourself. Sellouts. Anyway, let me go ahead and say classes in session, guys. We're here about to learn about some SCPs. Zykor, you're gonna have to be the lead teacher, and I guess I'll be secondary teacher, just in the background, just on my phone, trying to figure out why people won't love me on Twitter.
All right. I wonder if the recording software got the sound.
Yeah, it got you. It's picking it up.
I'm talking about when it was bubbling.
Oh, you mean? Oh, it probably will. I didn't even hear it. Would you just do it just now?
When you were doing the intro.
Oh, I didn't hear it. I was too busy talking, so it may have.
All right.
Okay, let's go ahead and get into this video, guys. In 3, 2, 1.
Good day everybody and welcome to SCP Illustrated, entry log 65. After weeks of waiting, SCP-096 is here, and that is what we will be looking at today. I've already done SCP-096, however, given how much I've learnt and developed over the past year, I wanted to have another crack at this and bring some better production value to such an iconic SCP. So please note that this is a Euclid level SCP, and anyone that knows SCP-096 should know to expect blood, violence, and dismemberment.
Sounds like a fun
And without
time.
any further ado, let's just get straight into this.
You say that. You say it sounds like a great time, but honestly, I don't think anybody would think the dismemberment would ever consider that a good time.
I mean, good time as in like a horror movie type good time.
Horror movies to me are not a good time. After the Saw games, I was like, you know what? Maybe this isn't my type of movie.
Hope the change flat. I gotta in my room.
The confidential data release of this SCP has been authorized by the following council and administration staff. Description: SCP-096 is a humanoid creature.
Bro, this is a Wendigo, bro. This looks like a Wendigo. Like legit a Wendigo.
No. No, he's not a Wendigo. But he does look like it a bit. He actually was there's a theory that suggests that SCP-096 was originally a man. Like a regular human. and I don't know if this is proven or not, but there's an SCP called, no, I think like the Mountain Man or Mountain King or something like that. And basically, he's found on Everest, and he offers, and like he'll bet if you lock eyes with him, with the Mountain Man, it's different SCP. We can film that one. Actually, you know what? I'll introduce you to him after this video, but we can go ahead and continue now. But yeah, he does look skinny.
Yes.
Skinny boy.
Yeah. I actually read a creepypasta. Read a creepypasta. It comes in parts. You and I should watch it. It's actually pretty hilarious, but it kind of like touches on that kind of stuff.
Measuring approximately 2.38 meters in height. The subject shows very little muscle mass, with preliminary analysis of body mass suggesting mild malnutrition. Arms are grossly out of proportion with the rest of the subject's body, with an approximate length of 1.5 meters each. Skin is mostly devoid of pigmentation, with no sign of any body hair.
Hey, I bet. Zykor. I've never really asked anything from anybody before, and I've never asked this, but you're gonna be the first person. I need you to go and slapbox that guy, bro. I need you to go slapbox him real quick.
Go fuck yourself.
Go ahead, man. I got money riding on this. I bet on you. Go ahead. I know you can do it. I believe in you. No, I don't.
Motherfucker, I will send you a picture of this motherfucker's face. It won't be an artistic depiction. I'll get an actual picture.
Bro, just because that there is a crackhead behind the 7-Eleven that looks like that guy's face doesn't mean that I won't be able to tell.
Dog, trust me. You'll fucking know why seeing his real face is bad in a second.
SCP-096's jaw can open to 4 times the norm of an average human. Other facial features remain similar to an average human, with the exception of the eyes, which are also devoid of pigmentation. It is not yet known whether SCP-096 is blind or not. It shows no sign of any higher brain functions and is not considered to be sapient. SCP-096 is normally extremely docile, with pressure sensors inside its cell indicating it spends most of the day pacing by the eastern wall. However, when someone views SCP-096's face, whether it be directly, via video recording, or even a photograph, it will enter a stage of considerable emotional distress. SCP-096 will cover its face with its hands and begin screaming, crying, and babbling incoherently.
So he's self-conscious. So the man's just self-conscious. Why you go ahead and watching this man, bro?
Approximately 1 to 2 minutes after the first viewing, SCP-096 will begin running to the person who viewed its face, who will from this point on be referred to as SCP-096-1.
What's the -1? Explain, teacher. Explain, teacher.
Alright, so the -1 is basically given, so for an SCP that has a reaction that causes a change in a person, the changed person is referred to the SCP's number and then -A, which means affected person or something like that.
Oh, so
it basically is saying that the person who saw the face is now considered an SCP instance himself, because now 096 is running to that person. And here's the thing. No, I'm not even going to tell you.
So technically, it's kind of like when you download a photo, but you accidentally download it again. It's like a duplicate, so they give you like the -1 behind it. So it's like a copy. So it's kind of like
a copy, but
so it's kind of like werewolf rules, but without the biting.
What the fuck is that?
Documented speeds have varied from 35 kilometers an hour to kilometers an hour, and seems to depend on distance from SCP-096-1. At this point, no known material or method can impede SCP-096's progress. The actual position of SCP-096-1 does not seem to affect SCP-096's response. It seems to have an innate sense of SCP-096-1's location. Note: this reaction does not occur when viewing artistic depictions. See document 096-1. Upon arriving at SCP-096-1's location, SCP-096 will proceed to kill and SCP-096-1. 100% of cases have left no traces of SCP-096-1. SCP-096 will then sit down for several minutes before regaining its composure and becoming docile once again. It will then attempt to make its way back to its natural habitat. Due to the possibility of a mass chain reaction, including breach of Foundation secrecy and large civilian loss of life, retrieval of the subject should be considered alpha priority. Dr. has also petitioned for immediate termination of SCP-096. See interview 096-1. Termination order has been approved and is to be carried out by Dr. on see incident 096-1-A. Special containment procedures. SCP-096 is to be contained in its cell, a 5m by 5m by 5m airtight steel cube at all times. Weekly checks for any cracks or holes are mandatory. There are to be absolutely no video surveillance or optical tools of any kind inside SCP-096's cell. Security personnel will use pre-installed pressure sensors and laser detectors to ensure SCP-096's presence inside the cell. Any and all photos, video and all recordings of SCP-096's likeness are strictly forbidden, without approval from Dr. and 05.
Okay, pause for a sec.
Audio log from interview 096.
Yep.
Okay, so the O5 Council are basically like, they're the ones who call the shots and the SCP organization. And I think the way it goes is like 05-4 or something would be like, I think a junior member, and then 1, I'm not remembering this correctly or not, but 05-1 would be like the leader of the board, so to speak.
Okay.
And their approval for certain experiments, containment procedures, everything goes to the O5.
Okay. Alright, makes sense. Nothing gets approved without going to the head.
To the O5.
Yeah.
96-1. Interviewer, Dr. Interviewed, Captain. Former Commander of Retrieval Unit Zulu 9 Alpha. Retrieval Incident 096-1-A. Begin log. Time, research area. It always sucks ass to get initial retrieval duty. You have no idea what the damn thing is capable of, besides what jacked up information the field techies can scrape up. And you're lucky if they even tell you the whole story. They told us to bag and tag. Didn't tell us jack shit about not looking at the damn thing.
Could you describe the mission, please?
Yeah, sorry. We had 2 choppers, one with my team, and one on backup with Zulu 9B, and Dr. We spotted the target about 2 clicks north of our patrol path. I'm guessing he wasn't facing our direction, else he would have taken us out there and then.
Your report says SCP-096 didn't react to the cold. It was -°C.
Actually, it was minus... And yes, it was butt naked and didn't so much as shiver. Anyway, we landed, approached the target, and Corporal got ready to bag it. That's when Dr. called. I turned to answer it, and that's what saved me. The target must have turned and my whole squad saw it.
That's when SCP-096 entered an agitated emotional state.
Yep. Interview now pauses for a second before continuing. Sorry. I got the willies for a second.
That's alright.
Yeah, well, I never saw its face. My squad did, and they paid for it up the arse.
Could you describe it a little more, please?
Yeah. It started screaming at us and crying. Not animal roaring though, sounded exactly like a person. Really fucking creepy. We started firing when it picked up Corporal and ripped off his leg. God. He was screaming for our help. Fucking... Anyway. We were blowing chunks out of the target, round after round. It didn't do jack shit. I almost lost it when it started... him.
That's when you ordered the use of an 84 HEDT launcher.
An anti-tank gun. Started carrying it ever since SCP got loose. I've seen those tear through tanks like tissue paper. Did the same thing to the target.
There was significant damage to SCP-096.
It didn't even fucking flinch. It kept tearing apart my squad, but with half its torso gone. He draws a large half circle across his torso.
But it was taking damage?
If it was, it wasn't showing it. It must have lost all of its organs and all its blood, but it didn't acknowledge any of it. Its bone structure wasn't hurt at all though. It kept tearing my squad apart.
So no actual structural damage. How many rounds would you say were fired at SCP-096?
At the least 1,000. Our door gunner kept his GAU-19 on it for at least 20 seconds. 20 fucking seconds! That's 650 caliber rounds pumped into the thing. Might as well have been spitting at it.
This is when Zulu 9B arrived.
Yeah, my squad was gone. Zulu 9B managed to get the bag over its head and it just sat down. We got it into the chopper and got it here. I don't know how I never saw its face. Maybe God or Buddha, whoever thought I should live, the jackass.
We have obtained an artist's depiction of SCP-096's face. Would you like to view it?
You know, after hearing that thing's screams and the screams of my men, I don't think I want to put a face to what I heard.
Alright. I believe we are done here. Thank you, Captain.
Chairs are heard moving and footsteps leave the room. Captain is confirmed to have left interview room 22.
Let this be on record that I am formally requesting SCP-096 be terminated as soon as possible.
End log. Document 096-1. Documentation 096-1 of Experiment 096-1. Experiment 096-1 is headed by Dr. Dan. Purpose is to test SCP-096's abilities while obtaining complete physical description of SCP-096. D-9031 is a 32-year-old convicted felon and former tattoo artist. D-9031 is placed inside bathysphere 303 Alpha, which is then lowered into the Tonga Trench off the coast of New Zealand. Position is approximately kilometers from SCP-096's temporary containment cell at site. The following was recorded via video surveillance inside bathysphere 303 Alpha, between it and Dr. Dan's control site on the New Zealand mainland. Bathysphere 303 Alpha reaches final depth of 10,800 meters.
Wow.
It stopped. What now?
Do you feel fine? No sickness, anything?
My ears hurt.
That should be expected. Now, on your left should be a steel container. Open it, and there will be a manifold folder holding several photographs. Open it, and describe the first photograph, please.
D-9031 complies. The camera is located so the photograph cannot be seen.
What was that?
What do you think that sits in the envelope?
Possibly pictures of the SCP's face or something. I don't know.
Go ahead.
Nothing. It's an empty cell.
Thank you. Please set this photograph face down in the receptacle to your right, and look at the next photograph.
It's the same cell, but there's a foot in it, I think.
I'm gonna say this, right? Already they chose this convicted felon tattoo artist. I have a feeling that they're about to do something to this dude, and it's not gonna be very good.
Describe it, please.
It's pale and bony. Sort of creepy, actually.
Place the photograph in the receptacle face down and look at the next one.
Okay. Oh, shit!
Describe the photograph.
It's I don't know, some creepy ass person.
Describe the photograph, please.
How man, he's pale, has wide eyes, and something fucked up happening with his mouth. What the hell is this thing?
At this point, approximately 1332 standard time, Dr. Dan in experiment control is notified that SCP-096 has breached containment. The fastest path to SCP-096-1 has been cleared of civilians and other image capturing devices, and SCP-096 is now being tracked by satellite via a tracking collar. On your right there should be another steel container. Open it.
It's a pad of paper and a pencil.
Yes. Please draw a sketch of the photograph you saw. SCP-096-1 mumbles an expletive and spends the next 20 minutes drawing a sketch of the photograph. At the time of completion, SCP-096 is confirmed to be kilometers away from SCP-096-1.
I'm done.
Good. Place the drawing in the receptacle on your left and close the door. SCP-096-1 complies, and the sketch leaves Bathysphere 303 Alpha in a watertight buoyancy container. The other photographs are then incinerated in the onboard incinerator.
What now?
Please stand by. 40 minutes pass. SCP-096 is now confirmed to be at SCP-096-1's position and is diving. Transponder signal ends at 9,339 meters as pressure goes beyond the device's operational limits. The camera shows the bathysphere shaking slightly. From SCP-096-1's reaction, it is assumed SCP-096 is on the hull and is visible through the viewport.
Oh fuck, shit, what the fuck is that?
Video and audio feed is cut as the whole of Bathysphere 303 Alpha is breached. SCP-096 is recovered by Surface Recovery Team Foxtrot 303 Alpha without incident. Sketch of SCP-096 is also recovered, and a quick test confirms no hostile reaction from SCP-096. Sketch is sent to Experiment Control on New Zealand, while SCP-096 is moved to permanent containment. Incident 096-1A.
So basically, they just killed this dude.
A lot of the D class are convicted felons who have a death sentence, and they get used, like, sometimes they're death row inmates, other times they're felons who are like career criminals.
Yeah.
Basically, people that no one would admit they died.
Like, how do I even say this, dude? Like as soon as they told him that he's a convicted felon and he was doing this type of stuff, I said, they're gonna kill this dude. Like, there was no reason for you to
Sometimes the
tell.
D class are basically, they're promised things like, oh, your family will be very well taken care of. Should you die before your time is up? Sometimes they're promised, hey, if we survive for a month or so, we'll set you free with a new identity, clean record, everything, and get you settled.
Lie.
But here's what's fucked up is there's such thing as anesthetics in the SCP universe, so they can just keep emphasizing the D class. They promise freedom if they survive the month, and like, no, you haven't gone a month yet. In reality, it could have been years of being repeatedly having their mind wiped.
Yeah, that's messed up, bro. That's highly messed up. Oh.
So containment has been attained?
Yes, Doctor.
Let me see the security footage. Begin log. A large steel cube is shown in the middle of a research lab,
which is teeming with a dozen or so researchers. In view of the camera is a control booth, displaying readings from various sensors inside the cube. Fast forward 1 minute 32 seconds. The control booth operator leans forward, alerted to the various readings on the sensors. Approximately 5 seconds later, a steel wall on the containment cube receives a sizable dent bending outward. The dent becomes larger before breaking. SCP-096 is seen bending the steel away, frantically trying to escape. Emergency plates dropped on the cube as the containment breach is sounded. The security tape has SCP-096's face blurred out as per containment protocol. 2 security teams enter the room as SCP-096 breaks out of containment. Live rounds and tranquilizer darts are fired to no visible effect. Approximately 90% of researchers and security personnel have directly viewed SCP-096's face, and a code Lima is declared. The room and surrounding areas are sealed and flushed with class nerve agent. Approximately 2 minutes later, SCP-096 breaches research site and travels kilometers an hour through the outside desert, traveling... Endlog.
Echo Romeo Actual was assigned to immediate containment breach. When we realised just how big a breach we were dealing with, we were completely overwhelmed. Funny how even the best and brightest minds in the world can be so unprepared.
So you are saying it is your own fault?
Absolutely not. This was a new discovery in SCP-096's behaviour. We had no way to know, and we are lucky it did not turn into an XK. Begin log.
Pause.
Helmcam footage from ER...
Okay.
An XK is a scenario in which the end of humanity is likely.
Do you think that creature could bring the end of humanity though?
Mm-hmm.
All by itself?
It could, because as long as it's in a rage state, it's invulnerable to anything someone does to it. And if it, say, tears its way through a major city, and we have about 6 million or so people in that city, and each of them, and you got CCTV cameras, smartphones, there'll be so many videos of that attack, and every single time that its face is caught, it'll trigger another event, and there's no way to contain his ass either.
That is somewhat terrifying.
Mm.
I mean, if I had to go ahead and like think about Wendigos, even though this isn't technically a Wendigo, they were pretty tough. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen that game. What was that game? It had Wendigos in it.
Folklore Hunter.
Huh?
Folklore Hunter.
No. It was something else. It was like there was like a bunch of friends that went up on some kind of trip or whatever, and they had to run from like Wendigos that were chasing them and whatnot. It was a very interesting game. But I forget what it was. But yeah, they were very tough, very tough.
Funny thing.
Yeah.
Did you know that Native Americans believe that if you whistle at night, it would call a skinwalker to you?
Oh boy. Well, I best stop whistling then.
At night.
All
right, let's go ahead and...
Best stop whistling then at night.
A5. Footage from inside a UH-60 shows SCP-096 on the desert floor, moving at considerable speed.
This is Echo Romeo Actual. We have visual of the target at knots and increasing.
ERA-1 listens to the radio as orders, identified as coming from Dr. Dan, are relayed. SCP-096 can be seen slowly gaining speed. ERA-1 motions off camera. ERA-3 appears holding a modified XM500 anti-material rifle. 2 shots are fired. The first misses and the second hits SCP-096 in the lower leg. SCP-096 stumbles but recovers. Speed change is insignificant.
Repeat, no effect on target.
ERA-1 mentions to ERA-3 again. ERA-3 fires 3 more shots. The first 2 miss and the third hits SCP-096 in the head. SCP-096 falls, skids and rolls several times, reducing its speed minimally. SCP-096 rolls to its feet and continues unabated. Camera pans up to see 8 V-22 Ospreys belonging to MTF TAU-1 flying overhead and past the helicopters on the same outbound vector as SCP-096. Camera cuts out. End log.
Yeah, I would assume that this is not something that I would assume that this could possibly. I mean, like they're using guns and it's not even working. They did like what? Something like a laser or something. Is there anything really that could really kill this thing? Get it to fight Godzilla or something.
No, but he. It's funny. He's scared shitless of 682.
682. What's 682?
They're very hard to destroy reptile. Very hard because it's basically like this motherfucker adapts so fast to any type of damage,
Yeah.
and they've come close to killing him. Like 85% of his original body mass just gone, and then his body adapts to the point where and he starts fucking healing, and they can't kill his ass. They tried a lot. And they even tried putting him and 096 up against the fight, but it lasted for I think a couple of hours, and then at the end, 096 was huddled at the fucking end of I basically on the far corner of the arena type cell they had them both in.
Yeah.
And he was keeping his face covered, and 682 would refuse to look at 096 because literally it's basically 2 damn near immortals going at each other.
Yeah.
So after that first fight, 096 is like, I tried everything. Fuck off. And now he no longer will actually lift his head or even move in 682's presence.
My question is, but though still, it still takes something to really. So basically, there's literally nothing physically you could do to kill this thing. Because mortality, because being immortal doesn't mean that you can't die by physical means. So, I mean,
I think you missed the fucking meaning of immortal there, buddy.
No, because if you ever watch certain shows, they'll say that, yeah, we can live forever, but we can still die by physical means. Like if you got damaged real bad, say your whole head got taken off, and you don't necessarily have a regenerative or something to regenerate your head, say Deadpool or something like that.
You know what'd be funny as hell?
What?
Is being able to say for example being truly immortal, your head gets cut off and then you just let your body fall, and then you know,
yeah, just kind of
someone,
Bond.
Fuck with someone literally if someone goes walking by, sees the head, and and then they get curious because they don't know exactly what it is.
Yeah. And
then they get close, pop open your eyes, and yell in the best Irish accent.
Top of the morning.
Top of the morning. Yeah, the Aladdin.
it kind of be just like Bond from Seven Deadly Sins. You know, I don't know. You know, yeah. He has the best. He has the best version of immortality. You can't kill the dude. You can't kill the dude, and he regenerates, and he just comes back, and he's just like, "Yo, what's up?" And I'm like, I need a dude like that on my team.
Begin log. Video interview log 096-1A. Dr. Alexei appears very calm, determined, and answers all questions slowly and deliberately.
Where were you exactly at the time of the breach?
On break, getting a cup of coffee. It was pure luck I wasn't caught in the containment area.
Describe your actions directly after the containment breach.
I sent Echo Romeo Actual after SCP-096 and alerted Dr. Dan to the situation. We then set upon the task of locating SCP-096-1. Once the general direction of SCP-096 was determined, I sent Mobile Task Force TAU-1 ahead to evacuate civilian population centres in SCP-096's path, all according to containment protocol.
End log. Begin log. Video interview log 096-1-B. Dr. Dan sits patiently. On the table in front of him is what looks like to be a set of modified night vision goggles.
For the record, where were you exactly during SCP-096's containment breach?
In the mountain range, trying to find more information on SCP-096's origins. It was a quick research expedition, so I left Dr. Alexei in charge of containment. He is competent enough, if a bit eager, and has proved himself in the past. This is all confirmed by the various related paperwork, so don't go thinking—
Oh, that was all just for the record, Doctor. Now, knowing that SCP-096
Still
is immune
recording?
to all forms of damage while in an enraged state, why would you order the sniper attacks from the emergency response team?
why not? If there was a chance to slow down SCP-096 and give MTF-TAU one more time, then we had to try. It put ERA in no danger, and the choppers were in danger of being outrun anyway. Honestly, ERA could do little else to help or harm the situation.
I see. Now, could you explain this?
Interview emotions to the goggles lying on the table. Yes, this is Project Scramble, an eyepiece we assigned to ERA and MTF-TAU-1, designed by Dr. Alexei and myself specifically for SCP-096. It carries a small microprocessor which constantly analyzes the viewing field for the facial features of SCP-096. Facial recognition software inside instantly identifies them, scrambling the image into an unrecognizable mess before the light reaches the human eye. It's quite ingenious, really.
And expensive.
Very. Which is why it's a shame it didn't work. End log.
Alright, I think that we're at a good place to stop right here for this video. Thank you guys for watching. We're definitely gonna go ahead and watch more of this. This is actually pretty interesting. Despite how I look, I am kind of.
I can't see his face when we're recording, guys, but pretty sure Vibes got a "what the fuck am I listening to" look on its face.
No, I'm actually pretty interested because it's got this kind of investigative mystery type stuff that I really like. So it's really interesting for me to listen to, and all the parts and the characters that are introduced into it is it's very good. It's a nice story being told here, but yeah, I'm just like a little tired, so I want to go ahead and pause this, and in fact we can go ahead and resume tomorrow. And watch the rest, and hopefully be able to do more like this because this is actually a little bit interesting, to say the least.
All right.
But yeah, thank you guys for watching. This has been Vibe Nation, and I want to see you guys back again for part 2. Please subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.